Hi, all. Welcome back to podcast episode number 8. Yeah, so it's been almost more than 7 days since my last podcast episode, and today is 24th December, which is Christmas Eve, and time is 10:14 a.m. India time. So it's a bright sunny day, not too bright in North and Delhi because it's cold, but yeah, much better. So because now is the time for vacation, holidays, wedding, celebration, and everything, I think everybody is experiencing a bit of FOMO. And interestingly, one of my friend wanted me to do a episode on podcast episode. So thanks to her. And now you know the topic today we are covering is FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Interestingly, FOMO doesn't go back like other issues or problems or what we experience in life. It was coined in 2003, and I think everybody knew that this digital age will make us more and more envy about anything and everything we come across. And we all think that in case we are not going for a party or we are being not invited for the party or we don't have enough money or we don't have time for a vacation or anything, any such thing, we experience FOMO by listening to our friend's story or maybe watching something on social media. But let me tell you, the all the information I googled just to see what is there and what people are reading, I could find that it's very misleading. So yeah, we envy, but I don't think so that each one of us are suffering from FOMO. And hence, I would like to define FOMO for everybody, including me. So this plagues a growing portion of the population, people who either overcommit and fail to fulfill many of their commitments or choose to avoid agreements and commitments as much as possible. The motivation for the action or inaction is a fear that in making an agreement they are losing the chance to engage in other experiences that could result in greater personal satisfaction or gratification. In other words, people who would like to keep their options open or people who keep things hanging. You know, like I'm dating few girls and I would not commit because it's always there in my mind that I deserve something better, someone better, and that girl is there across the corner somewhere and I'm just about to meet her. So I'll keep those four girls hanging, So I won't commit. Or maybe I commit to all those four girls. Maybe I overcommit to them because I don't want to lose them at all. Okay, because I love something in each of them, and of course I don't care and I won't I don't it doesn't matter if I like live up to that commitment. It's perfectly fine with me if I go and say sorry, I told you this and this, but sorry, I couldn't do that, or I'll not be able to do that. So the next and the most important question is what causes FOMO? Why it happens to us? So it's caused by feelings of anxiety around the idea that an exciting experience or important opportunity is being missed or taken away. The social anxiety that other people are having fun without you. It's more associated with low self esteem, loneliness, and low self compassion than with age. It's like envy which has crossed positivity. We talk about good envy and bad envy. It's like envy which has crossed positivity and is hurting us badly. Uh, The second question, I think, is definitely, can FOMO cause mental illness? Which I have heard and I have read that many people are asking. It's a psychological issue, it's a mental illness. What is it? Because it is killing me, for some people it's deep and it's killing them. So I would like to answer it that no, it's not a psychological or mental illness. It is not. You are perfectly fine. And it is not that suddenly one day you will be experiencing FOMO. No. The people who are satisfied, who are contented in their life, and who give a damn to what others are doing, I don't think so they can ever experience FOMO. But if the question is, can it trigger mental illness? Yes. If you have seeds of mental illness, if you're genetically carrying something, or if you have developed something in early childhood days or later as an adolescent or an early adult, if you have some kind of mental illness because of the environment or the social condition or anything, this FOMO will definitely uh, trigger that mental illness which is deep there inside you. Okay. Now, what are the symptoms of FOMO? And we are going one by one because I think it is very important to define it in that manner. So, again, I read a lot about the symptoms and I don't agree to them at all. So, first symptom, as per me, is urge to be surrounded by others. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be left out. I want a life for me where I am the hero, and I want to be in the center of that, and I want everybody to tell me, oh, you are good, we were missing you, that kind of feeling. Okay, so urge to be surrounded by others. So if you are a person who is not a people's person, if you are not a dosto ka dost, yaro ka yaar, if you are not that kind of person, then you don't or you can't have a FOMO symptom. Second most interesting is shiny object syndrome. Many of you must have heard about it. Shiny object syndrome is very, very interesting. It says when we focus all our attention on something which is new, current, and trendy. So this is new age social media symptom, that anything which is trendy, anything which is current, I want it. And if I don't get it, I develop FOMO. Third point is wanting to be part of community, So many people, everybody experiences love. Somebody has love for a specific person. Somebody has love for a specific relationship. Somebody has love for food, love for money, love for, it can be traveling, it can be anything. But if you have love for being part of community as the first love, in your priority list, first and the most important thing is, I want to be part of community. I want to be like present in all the events, all the parties, all the happening places. Okay, I should tick mark all the vacations. I have to, there's a checklist, I have to go for winter vacation with my friends. I have to go for birthday party. So if that is in the top of your priority list, then you are definitely experiencing FOMO. Yeah. And someone who is copying set patterns and trends to be like the group. So I want to be part of so and so group, and everybody is going to wear a skirt for the party tonight, so I will buy a skirt, and it doesn't look good on me, but I will definitely wear it because I want to be like them. Okay, I don't want to be excluded. And whenever I talk to my girlfriends or somebody. So I'll always ask them, kahan se kharida? From where did you buy it? Which shop? Which brand? Okay, which color? And I'll try to copy each and everything. Even shades of lipstick. Okay, even ties which you wear. Okay, it can be anything. Like for guys, opening same account, same bank account, in the same bank, going visiting same bank, or buying same kind of house, or buying same kind of car. So it's copying set patterns. Next point is, if you have wandering mind, and in last few days, because I was studying a lot and lot about FOMO, so I've posted this in social media, that if you have a wandering mind which is like more than 30%, then you will easily get FOMO. Okay, everybody has wandering mind, but if your mind wanders more than 30%, you definitely have FOMO. It is also triggered by the company we keep. Okay, the people around us. If people around us are envious, if people around us are talking about things they are missing out on, definitely we will get it. So if you're asking me, is it infectious? I would say mentally, yes, it is infectious. One who experienced FOMO would be more likely to miss out on sleep and experience more fatigue. FOMO is usually present throughout the day, but mostly during later part of the day and near to weekends. Of course, now you know what is the reason. When you're done with the work, there is time for you to relax, think about things, then FOMO will come and hit you the most. And TGIF, thank God it's Friday, what are your plans for your weekend? Those are the trigger points. People whose behaviors felt more like the personal obligations, including studying or working, were more likely to report FOMO. In scenarios where we need to do something which is planned versus social or chosen, FOMO is experienced. Hearing something from a friend, hearing something from a friend, or reading something or watching something on social media, or any status update triggers FOMO. Now, when we have talked everything about FOMO, how to beat FOMO, because right now I know many people are making many people's life miserable because they are not out for the vacation or party. Okay, so how to beat FOMO? So, planning something indoors, planning something for yourself, self-love is definitely a good way to beat FOMO. If you read lots of articles, then you will also find meditation, mindfulness, all those gyan is there, all those things that you should do this, you should focus on one task, you should avoid multitasking, everything is there. But I don't think so, because if it hurts badly. You can't tell me to just ignore it, sit and start doing meditation. It won't work for me. Okay, again, if you tell me, okay, take a book, start reading it, okay, be mindful, I don't think so it will work for me, because right now I need a medicine for a headache, so please give me medicine for a headache. Okay, and you will also listen to things like, try to limit yourself when choosing top things which matters most. Okay, so keep your priorities simple, limit yourself. I'm a human being, why should I limit myself? As in, if I can go out and party, why should I not go and party? Okay, so as per me, if you ask, beating FOMO is very, very interesting. First and the most important thing is, start feeling you're the most important person on this earth. Okay, because I do that. I feel I'm the most important person on this earth. I feel my time is very, very important. And there is no harm. I'm not killing anybody for this. I am not, it's not that I'm not focusing on my personal things. I am focusing on my personal things. Okay, but of course, I'm very, very important. Hence, whatever I choose to wear for a party, I will be the most beautiful person around. Okay. Whatever I say, what I feel is very, very important. And why it is important? Because I'm working on it. Every minute, with each passing minute, I am working on myself. Okay? I have wisely chosen the window of interaction, as in who to interact, how much to interact, what to talk about, and what not to. Okay? That is very, very important. What I am taking from the world and what I am giving back to them. Okay? And feeling complete is very, very important. Why can't I feel complete? And why should I always feel that if somebody has got, I would say, if somebody has an apple, and of course, apple is my favorite fruit, and I would like to have that apple, but if that person has that apple, then why should I think that this is the most amazing apple on this earth? I should even think the other way to think, which I think is it's okay, it's just an apple, and there are thousands and millions of apples out there. So I have thousands and millions of opportunity which I can miss if I keep focusing on that apple for more than 10 seconds, you know. So I would definitely say limit your time of thinking about a thing. If you are thinking a lot about a thing or a person, then you are giving them lot more importance which they definitely don't deserve. Okay, only God or only the something. I think even Spider-Man deserves more attention, you know, than those people or those things, okay, which doesn't give you a good feeling. Okay, so feeling complete, I would, is very, very important. Also, trust that when you were born, you didn't know where you're landing. Who will be your parents? Who will be your siblings? Where will you spend your childhood? How much money will you have? How will you eat? What will you eat? How will you study? Which school you will go to? You know, you didn't know anything, but still you're doing good, right? You have reached here, you're doing good. Uh, Life is good, okay? When you didn't know anything, when you didn't plan anything, when there was nobody around you to make you feel miserable, to tell you, oh, you're missing out on this vacation, or you're missing out on this or that, you were fine, right? So now, when you have everything, when you have taken the power in your hands to decide about your finances or your well being or your happiness, you can choose what you eat, you can choose where you can go out for a cup of coffee. If you can do all those things, okay, then you should definitely feel complete, okay? And I strongly believe that becoming independent from within, like limit yourself from asking help, limit yourself from talking to people who, in 5 minutes of conversation, cannot make you feel better. Okay, I think that's the best way to beat FOMO. Okay, that's what I think. Okay, and one more interesting point, think about evaluating your options. Think about, ask yourself, what will I get out of this? Okay, um, also plan on revising KRAs of people around you, revising key responsibility areas of people around you. It is very, very important because you know you should get time for self love. Okay, and don't go for such thing that if I have to watch a movie, I need a company. If I have to go out for swimming, I need company. No, you came alone, you'll die alone. Okay, you don't need company at all. I don't agree to it. Okay, like many people tell me, how will you make a podcast episode? You need somebody, you know, to talk to you. They'll ask question, you will answer back, it will be interactive, it will be good. No, I don't think so. I don't need anybody. I don't mind having anybody, you know. It will always be a pleasure if somebody joins me, but I don't think so they I can give anybody the power to stop or to keep my podcast episode hanging because I'll have to take permission from them, or I'll have to discuss with them, or I'll have to ask them when can we do our next podcast episode, you know. So take that power from people. That is very, very important. Okay, revise everybody's key responsibility areas so that you get time for self-love. And best part about FOMO is when you start working on yourself, you will grow out of it in no time. Okay, uh, don't keep those feelings of loneliness uh, restricted. Share with other people. Okay, and be open for views. I have seen many people like they have been hurt so much that they are not open for views, including me at times. I'm very, very stubborn. So I think we should all try to be open for views. Okay, views won't hurt, and it's solely upon you if you want to implement it. Okay, if you think you can implement it, you can implement it. If you don't, just ignore it. And anything, if I tell you to do something, always keep a 24-hour bracket. It's very, very important to have a 24-hour bracket. Don't do anything instantly. After 24 hours, if you feel the same for something which has to be done now, you will have your answer, whether you want to do it or not. And for life-changing decisions, always check your integrity, always check your intentions. Why are you wanting to do that? Is it for the company? Is it for the money? Is it for the security? Is it for the safety? And trust me, you're not going to get any of these. Okay? Neither will you get security because of someone, neither will you get safety, neither will you get your finances in place, nothing. Okay, you will have to work on yourself, you will have to work on everything, and you will have to make yourself independent. And that's the only thing which is going to be there always. And that's the only thing which will never threaten you. Never threaten you. Something which you, like this podcast episode, it won't threaten me ever. That I'll take this back from you. Now what will you do? Okay, I'll deprive you from this. Now what will you do? So this is not going to happen. So the best way or the best investment I would say is invest on yourself. Yeah, work on yourself. So the ultimate way, is to find yourself, start doing what you love. And it's a good time to stop running and making people at least get up and try to crawl, if not walk. And definitely we don't want them to run behind us because peace of mind is expensive and it shouldn't be given up easily. So if it is not clear, I can repeat again. So what we do is we make everybody very comfortable around us. And we are working. Okay, we are one who are givers. I'm talking to givers. Okay, right now I'm talking to givers. If you're not a giver, then you should also listen. What are you giving to those givers? So if you have a habit of doing things for people, you keep doing. People are sitting at one place. Now is the time to start doing what you love doing. Okay, it's a good time to stop running. Okay, because sometimes there's too much of work and you start running, and make people around you at least get up and try to crawl, if not walk. Okay, and we are not ruthless people. We don't want them to run behind us. We have better things to do, and peace of mind is very, very expensive. Okay, so for anybody or anything on this earth, we should not compromise that. Peace of mind shouldn't be given up easily. Okay, so that's the end of this podcast episode. I'm very, very excited about it. Excited to read or know from you what you feel, because I loved it personally. And if you want to write to me, you can write at Preeti, PRRITI @therateblinkofaneye.in. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and have a great year ahead. And this is, I'm glad that this is completely unedited journey. And keep sharing and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much. Love you all.